Hey everybody, I'm Somm Wine Guy, and I have got some wine for you. This is the 2019 Pegasus Bay Riesling from North Canterbury in the South Island of New Zealand. And this is a winery that I am and have been for a long time really excited about. So I'm happy to be able to include one of their wines in the Somm Wine Club box for this month. So Pegasus Bay is a small family run winery that is operated and owned by the Donaldson family. The head of the family, Ivan Donaldson, planted the first vineyard in Canterbury in 1976. So they have been growing and making wine in Canterbury for almost 50 years. Canterbury, for those of you that don't know, is south of Christchurch on the east coast of the South Island. And it's protected from the Pacific Ocean by a small little range of hills called the Teviotdale Hills. A really unique place to be growing wine, long days, warm days, cool nights, long growing season, protection from the ocean by those hills, and then protection from the Southern Ocean by the Southern Alps on the west coast of the South Island. So, like I said, a really unique and interesting place to grow wine. And Ivan and his wife Christine realized that back in the 70s. So they started planting vineyards and making wine just as a hobby, while Ivan was also a neurologist and was seeing patients at his private practice. In 1986, they started Pegasus Bay. The first plantings went into the ground on this piece of land in the Waipara Valley, which is the north part of Canterbury. Uh, they have four boys who are now all involved, are all grown men and are involved in the winery operations. Matthew, their eldest son, is the winemaker. Edward, Michael, and Paul all taking on various roles within the winery, from general manager to sales manager to Ivan takes care of the viticulture. Christine, his wife, who is a big fan of opera, has contributed to the winery and its kind of artistic and kind of development of the grounds. It's a beautiful piece of property. They have art installations kind of scattered about these kind of very beautiful manicured, like a gallery outside of the winery. Definitely, if you're in New Zealand, it's a place to go and check out. I was there in 2018 and had a chance to hang out with Matthew and taste through a bunch of barrel samples at lightning speed while they kind of got ready for bottling. And yeah, Riesling is one of the things that they do, and they have kind of made a claim on doing Riesling as one of their signatures. Their house style for Riesling is not maybe the typical Australian or New Zealand Riesling. It's not totally dry. They've opted for a little bit more sweetness in their Riesling. Not dessert wine sweet. We're still only talking 28 grams per sugar of sugar per liter, which, if you look at other things that we consider like not super sweet but sweet, like cider, Strongbow cider is like 52 grams per liter of sugar. Coca-Cola is 90, or any sodas, really, tonic, ginger ale, any of that. It's going to be way higher sugar than this. Plus, this also has 8 grams of TA, or total acid. So that's a balancing act. Sugar in this case is helping to kind of moderate the effect of that really, really intense acidity. So while it does have notes of sweetness, and you do perceive the sugar in there, it's not meant to be overtly sweet. And we'll see that once you actually get to the tasting. Uh, yeah, they let these grapes hang out on the vines for as long as they possibly can, give them that extra hang time to develop really complex flavors, kind of pull out all of the complexity that they can out of their extended growing season, and that those kind of warm uh, fall days and cool nights, where the grapes will just continue to slowly ripen and develop flavors and develop more interest and character. And then fermented, let it kind of go until it's off dry, and then cut it off from there to kind of preserve some of the fruit and keep the alcohols at a moderate rate. This is 12.5% alcohol with that sugar too. So if you were to take it all the way to dry, it would be closer to 14% alcohol, which is a lot for Riesling. So they talk about sometimes they will kind of seek out parcels with botrytis or noble rot, which they can get in Canterbury because they have the right conditions for it. Botrytis is a mold, Botrytis cinerea, that grows on the outside of the grapes when you have the right conditions, when you have fog, basically like dew in the morning on the grapes, and then you get sun in the afternoon and it evaporates and it leaves behind the spores, and then it starts to evaporate the moisture from inside the grapes and it concentrates the sugars and the flavors. So you get these kind of candied aromas. Sometimes it's like ginger spice, like candied ginger. Really, really interesting, especially when you're making it into dry or just off dry wines instead of dessert wines like Sauterne. But I'm not picking up any botrytis here, but I do get a little bit of this kind of gingery note to it, along with just boatloads of aromatics. There's apple blossom, citrus blossom, lime leaf, key lime, lime custard. There's apricot. There's this little bit of like dried white flour note to it. A little bit of toasted coconut. Super, super complex array of flavors and aromas here. That's what you get when you let those grapes just hang out for as long as possible to develop. In the technical sheets for the wine, they talk about being as gentle as possible during winemaking, during fermentation, to try and retain a little bit of the carbon dioxide, the CO2, that's created during fermentation, and keep it trapped in the wine. And they've done that here, and it adds this very, very subtle, light, almost spritziness to it, just adding another layer of interest, complexity, and flavor here. From a textural standpoint, it's just like this prickle on your tongue. And like I said, the sweetness here is noticed. You feel it. You like, okay, this wine has some sugar to it, but then the acidity comes in, and it's like squeezing lemon or adding lemon and sugar together. You wouldn't want to drink just pure lemonade. You wouldn't want to eat just pure sugar, but you add lemon and sugar, you get lemonade. Delicious. Same thing with sugar and acid in wine. You balance those two things together in a really nice way, and it creates something that's greater than the sum of its parts. There's incredible mouthfeel, texture. There's weight behind this wine. People think about Riesling as a light, kind of very, very kind of silky, soft, light, tart, but light in flavor and light in concentration. And this is not that. This is the opposite. This is quite robust in both flavor and texture, and it lingers on your palate for a long time. Like, I'm still talking, I can still taste it. Still taste it. Still taste it. It's just kind of hangs out here in like the sides of your mouth. I can feel it kind of reverberating as I speak, and it's just sticking with me, and that makes me really happy because I love Riesling. I want it to last for as long as possible. And I also love food, and I love the food opportunities with Riesling, and I love the food opportunities with this Riesling even more so because of that. A little bit of sweetness, because of the incredible acidity and balance, because of the texture, because of the complexity of flavors. You can put this in front of damn near anything, and it's going to be like, oh yeah, I'll take care of that, no problem. Think about like sour, like tom kha soup, like coconut and lemongrass and spices. You could do mushroom, or you could do fish or chicken. You could do sweet and sour pork. You could do like very kind of tangy gastronomic Chinese food where you've got sweet and sour kind of mending together. You can go casual. You can go comfort food. Do like ham pineapple. Do Hawaiian pizza. because the sweetness of the pineapple is going to play with the sweetness in the wine. The fattiness and saltiness of ham or bacon is going to help get cut by the acidity in the wine, and then you just have this really, really beautiful, refreshing interplay of all of those flavors. So many options. That's why I love Riesling. That's why I love sharing them with you. And this is why I want you all to not necessarily just be like, oh, sweet wine, I don't know, right? Riesling, too sweet. No, it's not. It's balanced. Everything in pursuit of balance. Seeking it out in the wines that they make and the food pairings that you can create when you have something like this is unparalleled. So just give it a try. Believe me, you're going to love this. For any of you that are not part of Somm Wine Club and you don't have a bottle of the Pegasus Bay Riesling in front of you right now, I'm sorry, first off, I do still have boxes available, I'm sure. If you are curious and you want to get in, let me know. You can find more information on the website, or you can send me a message. Pegasus Bay Riesling, another great wine to share with everybody here in the September box for Somm Wine Club. So thank you very much. Enjoy. We'll see you all next time.